If you've been searching for a solution to your pain or other health problem and you somehow ended up here looking into upper cervical chiropractic, I hope this video can be helpful for understanding a little bit more about it and whether it might be something that can help you. First of all, most people are familiar with chiropractic to some extent, so what is the difference between upper cervical chiropractic and the type of chiropractic that most people are used to? Well, upper cervical chiropractic deals solely and specifically with a problem that happens in the upper neck. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that a person's pain or other symptoms are located in the neck, but just that the cause of the problem, the origin of the problem is in the neck. Usually because there's something that's affecting the nerve system in the neck. Secondly, upper cervical chiropractic, it requires a different technique because the upper cervical spine is unique to the rest of the spine in a number of different ways. There are no discs between the vertebra in this area. There's a very complex system of articulations there, far more complex, very different than the rest of the spine. And there's just less tolerance for misalignment in the upper cervical spine in the context of what it takes to start to create tension or tractionization on the central nervous system. And all of that really comes together to create a really complex joint system that requires a different analysis. It requires a different corrective approach, and upper cervical chiropractic is geared toward being able to analyze and adjust that properly. You may have had your neck adjusted in the past, but if that adjustment doesn't lead to precise and proper alignment of that area that eliminates that tension on that central nerve system, many times, problems are going to remain unresolved. And the third thing I'll mention here is that there are a number of different techniques that are used to adjust the upper cervical spine. The technique that I personally use is known as NUCCA. NUCCA is an acronym. It stands for National Upper Cervical Chiropractic Association. And it's a very gentle technique. There's no forceful twisting or cracking or popping involved with this, which, to some people that comes as a relief because for whatever reason they dislike the more forceful adjusting techniques, especially in the neck. I know a lot of people who actually prefer the more aggressive type of adjusting techniques. But in either case, the gentle nature of the NUCCA correction is really a product of that very complex joint system there. It takes a very careful analysis and careful application of the corrective procedure in order to get that area into a place where, again, you don't have any tension on the nerve system. Biomechanically, everything's moving normally, and it is in a position where it can start to hold, it can start to maintain that position. And there's a lot of other things I could get into as far as upper cervical chiropractic, but in an effort to keep this video on the short side here, I'll just leave you with those points for now.